Hello, everyone. I know a live stream. What the hell's going on? Crazy, right? Here we are at San Diego Comic-Con weekend, and I have dragged in Chainsaw Reacts. He was
Mhm.
being tied down in his basement, being told he can't do any more interneting today.
Yes.
But I reached a deal with his wife to allow him to come out and do this.
Mhm.
So welcome.
I'm here. I'm
Yeah,
here. I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk
yeah.
some Comic-Con.
Yeah. Absolutely full chocked of like great things. I'm sure Marvel and DC had a full panel that we can break down in depth.
Mhm.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So
There's so much to talk about.
let's just like tiptoe around. Like there's another topic we'll talk about in a little bit when more people get in here. But let's start off. What excited you from Comic Con that you saw?
Honestly, not really much. I mean, I like the fact that they showed the Coyote versus Acme had a panel and they were referring to Warner Brothers as Acme the entire time. Like they're the villains. They can never say Warner Brothers. That was very smart. I will say, even though I really wasn't a huge fan and I still haven't seen Peacemaker, I did listen to the Peacemaker panel and just watched like a good bit of it for research purposes, as well as, actually watching it for just see what other questions would be answered in regards to like other characters, other things, because there was going to be other people addressing other things besides Peacemaker. I'm like, I want to
Right.
see what James is going to say. Apparently they did a good job of showing some stuff from Alien Earth, which is exciting. I'm excited for that show next month.
Okay.
And George Lucas had a panel today. That's some
Yes, he
sort of like
did. Yeah.
museum or something he's a part of. So that's pretty cool. So yeah.
So I did hear you earlier say you had not watched Peacemaker season one, and I
Mhm.
was actually honestly mildly surprised. Did you watch The Suicide Squad?
Yep. I did see that
So you
film.
didn't you saw that, but you didn't watch Peacemaker. Why?
I just have no interest in watching it. Like I just didn't really care too much about the Peacemaker character. Like John Cena was fine in the film. Um, like eventually I'll probably watch the show, but I just don't have any real interest in it. But um, I'll probably watch season one just to see what's happening in season two because season two is canonically taking place in the DC, or at least at some point it will. So I'll probably jump into that and then see what's happening just to see where these characters are set up and how they kind of pay off in season two. Because James is saying this takes place 1 month after Superman season two. So there's going to be stuff. And like the first episode has characters from Superman in it. So, we should be watching it to at least
Right.
kind of know what's going on. Because this is probably going to lead into Lanterns and Supergirl in some way. I don't
Yeah.
think we're going to see the Lanterns in there besides Guy Gardner, but I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of tie-in or something that's going to be happening here that's going to tie into the next thing, potentially. So,
Yeah. Like I remember when they did the first trailer for Peacemaker, and we saw a guy and uh, I always forget who the other person, her name,
mm,
Talk Girl, in the
yes.
in the thing. I was kind of pretty surprised. Like I didn't think they would drop that spoiler before Superman, but here we are, and now there's that expectation people have, like, oh well, this is going to be connected to Superman's universe, and I mean
Mm,
technically it will, but from what I've seen from the second trailer, the one that came out at Comic Con, is we're still following the Peacemaker from the TV show version universe, who has now gone into the Superman universe, whatever you want to call that, the DCU.
yeah, the
Sure.
DCU, yeah.
Um, so it seems he's crossed over into that one, but uh, do we at the end of that series end up with him back in his own universe, or does he take everyone from his universe over to their like? There's questions that I have a little bit of, like, I'm kind of curious how this is going to work out, but I'm also a little nervous that it could be a train wreck. Because I think Peacemaker season one, I know you haven't seen it. I think Peacemaker season one is one of the best seasons of comic book TV I've personally watched. And granted, I've only watched maybe like 60% of what's out there,
Mm,
but I loved that series. Like, I was huge excited when I found out season 2 is on its way. I was disappointed when I found it wasn't going to film here again, but season 1, amazing. Hey Phil, how you doing? Welcome.
I told him I was live with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably sitting here right now going, these guys have the worst takes ever.
Probably. Yeah, he was messaging me about the whole other thing, and he was just like, "You do know this?" I'm like, "Yeah, I kind of figured, yeah."
Yeah.
So.
Oh my God! I just realized I have not announced that I was going live. Oops.
Oh.
I put a tweet out like 2 hours ago saying I
Yeah.
was going to do it, but I haven't actually put the actual information with the link out. Give me a minute to do that. Maybe
No
you can
worries.
talk amongst yourself.
Yeah, talk amongst myself. Hey, everybody. Anything happening today? Anything going on Twitter? Anything? Anybody get talked about in a tweet on a beach somewhere? Didn't get tagged? Anything happen?
I know I didn't.
Yeah, you know, who knows? Who knows? I mean, it's fine. It's fun.
What the hell? Why are none of these posts going through? I swear I posted to like 3 different platforms and none of them went through. Like one I could understand, but all 3?
Yeah, social media is being a little weird. A little strange. Oh well. Seems like the other stream that they're doing is they're just waiting. They're waiting as well. The other people waiting to kind of watch and see what happens. Oh my God, he shared the StreamYard link in the comments. That's not smart. Why would you do that? Don't do you never do that. Never do that.
No, of course not. I mean, there's a defense to that because you have to still allow the person on stream after the fact, but it's still just yeah. I'm sure right now a dozen people are trying to get on it, right?
Yeah. Lionel, 100% Lionel. That's that guy is talking. He's going to talk about me. I think the stream's actually starting now. I think he's going to. I don't know. I told the other stream who's going to be reacting to it, defend me, guys. I need it because I can't defend myself. I'm so sad. Oh, God.
It's pretty unfair of him to pick on a defenseless person too. Like, but that's why I gave you a platform here so that you can speak about how you're being bullied online about this guy who clearly is a pretty big menace. I mean, James Gunn was shaking in his boots.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for the footage, but it's out
I'm pretty sure I heard reactions from people talking about the single tear they saw roll down his cheek.
Ooh.
Like, it was devastating. So for those of you here that haven't jumped into YouTube drama or Twitter drama in the last, I don't know, half a day, Chainsaw over here has himself a fanboy who is a little cranky with him for pointing out facts.
I like fanboys. Yeah, I do.
So, how did this come to your attention?
So Resident Justice RJ, he's pretty big guy on the DC side of Twitter. He tweeted last night or this morning or so. It's around that time. It was after it was done. He was notified that this guy did a live stream where it literally the title of the stream is Infiltration, and then it goes on from there in terms of like San Diego Comic-Con. He spent 2 hours discussing different things, and then he was claiming that he went to Hall H, sat front row, had a stare down with James Gunn, and James Gunn was shook. And the guy that he showed a photo with that was next to him took footage and apparently has footage of James Gunn shaking in his boots. Shook that this guy was here because he's claiming, there was a monitor that the cast was looking at in Hall H for the Peacemaker panel, and right above the monitor was his head that they were looking at. I don't know what was on this monitor. I don't know if it's like some sort of like so they can see where the camera is at. I have no idea, no clue. But he's claiming that James Gunn was like looking at people near him, and then he was shook when he saw him. Like, okay, and so digging into it, I'm like, okay, this is beyond disliking James Gunn, because I don't care if you dislike James Gunn. I don't care if you have a problem with James Gunn. I don't care about a lot of that shit. My problem is he's admitting to pulling up, because he quote saying he pulled up to Comic-Con, spent money to get into Comic-Con, waited for hours and hours on end to get into Hall H, to get in front row, to then confront, but he didn't do anything. And at one point, he's claiming he was going to do something to get kicked out. And I'm thinking, okay, so you're admitting that you would go up on stage potentially and attack him or do something and get kicked out. Maybe you get charged with something. Like, I don't know what you're insinuating there. So I made a video about it. And I found out more information after the fact. So Zack Snyder, the guy he loves, praising, Zack Snyder had a world premiere for his Rebel Moon Part 1 on Netflix a few years ago. And it was like some sort of like one-off premiere that was happening. Well, Dave the Film Junkie, who's another content creator, was at that premiere. He's a big Zack Snyder fan. He's not a cultist. He was just there. Apparently this guy was there too. That's what I found after the fact. I would have loved to include in the video. But after this was put out there, Dave responded, "Oh, this is the same guy that followed me into the bathroom at the premiere of Rebel Moon, was trying to cause a scene, was trying to see if something would happen." So what? he went into the bathroom, apparently was washing his hands really slowly with Dave and some other people there, trying to cause a problem, trying to see if something was going to happen.
What the hell?
Yes. Now, allegedly. Allegedly.
Okay, yes, allegedly.
Because this is not on, because he didn't talk about this on a live stream, as far as I know. But this is what Dave is stating. And I know Dave, I've known Dave for years. I don't think Dave's lying for a second, but the guy admitted to the other stuff for the James Gunn stuff that happened over the weekend. He admitted to stalking him, basically, because he said, "I'm not going to let this guy just show up in my area and do a panel without me pulling up." I'm like, what are you talking about? That is creepy. That is uncomfortable. And then I have people that are commenting saying, "Why are you defending this pedo gun guy?" I'm like, oh God, okay, here, the typical thing. He made jokes. He said stuff online that was inappropriate. There was even one person, as I was telling you before we went live, stating that I need to be face-to-face with this dude. I'm like, why? He's constantly online on his fucking live streams attacking people left and right, and he's not doing it to their face. He had an opportunity. The guy was right there. He was front row. James is right there. Why didn't he confront him? He kept saying he was looking to get kicked out or something.
I can come up with a reason why.
Okay. I would like to hear your theory.
He's actually a coward.
No, that can't.
If you have the guts to go on stream and claim all this crap, you got to be able to back it up in person. I can tell you, as somebody who has actually confronted celebrities to their face and told them what I think of them in a negative tone, that it's not actually that easy to do. And I have actually done it. Like, you're sitting there and you're like, this person who has millions of followers could bury me in 3 seconds by just putting out a tweet. I have confronted several celebrities, told them I think they're a piece of shit for this or that, etc. Knowing that any moment they could go on Twitter and like sick 50,000 people on me. It could happen. It's not easy. It's not easy to do in person. You actually have to have, some level of balls. There's been a few where I have an opinion. I want to say it to them, but I do back down because common sense dictates eventually, like, maybe I don't want to, get into this fight. But like, all the people that follow me here on the regular, you and some of the people on your live streams that have like talked with me about my interactions with celebrities in the past, you're familiar with like my interactions with Stephen Amell. Like, I've told him to his face that he was wrong about things. I've told him through DMs he was wrong about things. He knows who I am. He knows my face. He knows my name. He absolutely 100%, if he wanted to, could have put out a tweet, even if it's bullshit, and I could have had 40,000 people complaining at me the next day. I still did it. This guy front row at James Gunn thing, he couldn't even sit in his seat and yell at James Gunn, "Hey, blah, 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 blah." Like, he didn't even do that. He didn't even interrupt the panel for any reason. Like, he just sat there and did this.
Yeah, just staring.
From what I've been told by his exact words, stare.
Just staring.
So
yeah.
I can tell you another thing.
Mhm.
Having met James Gunn and having met, countless other celebrities, including the ones I've criticized to their faces, I didn't impact their day at all. Okay? I didn't impact probably their hour. There's probably a few that let something I say stew in their head for a few minutes, maybe a half an hour. But as soon as they get their big screen 70-inch TV in front of their face, or a nice meal in front of their face, or they get to go out and buy that $10,000 watch, they've forgotten about me, man.
Mhm.
They've forgotten about me. They forgot about whatever I said. I'm a nothing to them 2 minutes later.
Mhm.
Okay? I had like a 5-minute conversation with James Gunn when he was here doing Peacemaker.
Mhm.
We didn't talk about anything in depth. We just talked about the show and other projects he's done. But I met him like a week to a week and a half after that, and he didn't know who the hell I was. I could have been Santa Claus for all he knew. Like, he didn't know who I was, and he'd only met me a week and a half ago, and we had a conversation.
Mhm.
That's how quick celebrities are moving on in their day. This guy could have held up a sign, like with the tweets that James made in the past of, his, like, let's say, colorful comments. He could have put up a sign, a laser copy sign of that in front of his face and been like, "Was this you? Was this you? Did you do this?" And James gonna be like, "Security, remove this guy." And
Mhm.
within 2 minutes, he would have forgot about him.
Yeah.
He'd be gone out of his memory. Okay, this guy didn't intimidate James Gunn. The
No.
most he might have done is have James Gunn look at him and go, "What the hell is this guy staring at?" and move on with his moment. Like, that's the most.
Yeah, that's pretty much where we're at on that. I mean, my thing is that he's claiming he was going to do this, right? He's claiming he was going to do this, and I just find it fascinating because he could have easily stood up and yelled Snyderverse on Netflix or whatever he wants, his narrative he wants, but he could have done that. He could have done that. But instead, he sits there because he doesn't want to cause a scene because it's going to be uncomfortable. He's going to be the center of attention. And more likely what's going to happen is if he stood up to start screaming stuff about the Snyderverse or sort of the Snyderverse, whatever, then he would have been kicked out. The panel out there would have laughed at him. The
Oh
audience
yeah, yeah.
would have laughed at him. He probably would have been banned from Comic-Con for interrupting like that. So he's coming online to pretend he's tough. Absolutely, they absolutely have security, 100%. And that's the thing. He also addresses in the live stream, and the part I even play, they address the photo they took him and his friend. There's security behind them. Yeah, there's two of them. There's plenty of security. Nothing would have happened. Like I don't know what his. I think the narrative he's trying to push is that he is known, because apparently people are saying this is another alleged thing. They're stating that he claims Warner Brothers Discovery knows who he is because of his online presence. Someone said, I guess in a live stream somewhere, the guy stated there are scenes in Superman that are in reference to him and are like basically directed towards him. I'm like, wow, the mentality of that, to think that that's what's actually happening, is pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
Again, I have to constantly go back to this because obviously I have my own interactions with Warner Brothers and other production companies in the past. I am someone they do know about. They have literally emailed me in the past asking me to remove content from my site. They know who I am. This is a known fact. There has been one or two, maybe three PR people from their team who still follow me to this day, even though Warner Brothers hasn't filmed here in years. I am someone that they at least know about. Now, whether David Zaslav or James Gunn know me, probably not.
No.
But someone in their company knows who I am. Now, I'm not going to say it's impossible this guy is known. I'm not going to say that. But he has 1,182 followers on Twitter and 3,000 and 30 followers on YouTube. Even if he is known by someone so far down on the chain of command that they have no pull.
100%.
I bet you if I go through his 1,100 followers on Twitter, none of them are a PR person.
No, I don't think so. Not at all. And if they are, they're probably just like, what is this guy saying? Because he's making up stuff left and right. Like, if you go back on his past live streams he's done, even just the titles alone, he's making up stuff and claiming that even Warner Brothers brought in Zack Snyder to promote Superman with that whole Rick and Morty sketch. That was recorded back in February for Rick and Morty. It was a bit because the two directors of Superman recently are talking to each other. And James Gunn had a role in that episode. It was like a whole bit. It has really nothing to do with actually promoting Superman. Like, it's just about the fact that these two directors are talking about their films, and it's just poking fun at themselves, and that's what's happening. It's not actually meant to promote Superman. It's a weird mentality thing. But hey, I'm not going to sit here and my whole point, because I even said this in my video, as people were saying, well, what about gun fanatics? Okay, if a James Gunn fan went to an event that Zack Snyder was going to be a part of and pulled this kind of stunt where they admitted they went to this like convention or something, they were at the panel and they were staring down and they shook Zack Snyder, it'd be the same video. I'm like, this is really ridiculous, guys. But people are forgetting that part. They think I'm only doing this because I'm against Zack Snyder. Like, I like Zack's films. I wanted to see his universe continue. I wanted to see what he was going to do after seeing the Snyder Cut. However, that's not happening, and I understand that. But I'm not going to sit there and scream and yell to the high heavens about something that's not going to happen. And Zack and James are friends. So he's he's attacking the guy that actually is friends with the guy you support.
Yeah. That's what I always find crazy about this whole fight is you're attacking someone that the person you're supposed to be supporting is happy as succeeding. Like, Zack Snyder is not sitting there in a room being like, I can't believe this asshole is getting ahead and it's not me. Like, that's never gone through his brain for a second.
No.
Do you know what would happen if you asked everybody involved with Zack Snyder's Justice League about him and other cultists what they think? Ben Affleck would call you a moron. Jason Momoa would call you a moron. Ezra Miller, even if anyone wants to hear his opinion, would call you a moron. Gal Gadot would call you a moron. Zack Snyder would call you a moron. There's a difference between being a fan of something and being so obsessed with it that your life can't function normally without it existing. There is a vast difference between those two things. So when I see people online, they're like, oh, Zack Snyder fans, all terrible. Like, there's a difference between a Zack Snyder fan and a Zack Snyder cultist. I have met reasonable Zack Snyder fans. Just like I used to have this conversation on this very stream all the time. There were Iris fans, Felicity fans, etc., who were reasonable people that I had good conversations with. We may disagree on some things, but they weren't crazy about it. And then there's that 3 to 5% of them that are just nuts, and you can't reason with them. This is where we are with the Snyder cult. Same thing.
Yeah.
There's fans, 95 to 97%, and then there's the cult that's 3 to 5%. And unfortunately, they're the ones everyone hears from all the time. No one hears from the reasonable people.
No, it's always the loud people. And that's why I made a point to say the difference between a cultist and an actual fan of his work. Like, it's ridiculous that these people are so obsessed. Like, literally, like I said, go back to his past live streams. Look at all the stuff he's been doing for the longest. I'm not going to go all the way back. I went back just a couple months, nonstop attacking and hating James Gunn. And if that's your thing, cool. But when you take it that far with going out of your way to go to an event to waste time and money to confront the guy and you just sit there and just kind of stare at him, that's weird. That's stalkers. That's uncomfortable. I don't understand what you get out of it. And what he's getting out of it is attention. That's what he's getting. So he's relishing in the attention he's getting, thinking this is good. Yeah. It's actually not. It's actually exposing more of the issue that you're bringing forth with your narrative. because what you're screaming about is feasibly not going to happen, regardless of what happens with James Gunn or DC. Like if this DCU fails in the next couple years, that does not mean the Snyderverse is returning. It just means there's going to be another reboot. You're going to get further away from it. Yeah. So if you want the Snyderverse to potentially happen, which it won't, actually supporting James Gunn gives you a better chance because James Gunn and Zack Snyder are friends. And who knows, maybe down the road within the next 5 to 10 years, maybe James Gunn gives them the money to do an animated project for the next 2 Justice League. And so instead of live action, you just get the animation. You can just do it. So you get the conclusion you want, but attacking, going after a guy, fine. But understand that it's actually damaging your chances even more of getting it. Because if he's gone and someone else comes in to run DC that doesn't like Zack Snyder, there's a 0 chance of anything. Because who knows? So, it's
here's the big problem, and I mean, I'm sure Warner Brothers now, unfortunately, realizes it is they caved in once.
Mm-hmm.
They gave them the uncut 4-hour version. They caved in once. The brain rot inside these guys' head is we won. We can do anything now. They will never, ever let this go because they think eventually they will win again.
Mm-hmm.
And Warner Brothers shot themselves in the foot this way. And I think if Warner Brothers had never addressed it, never done anything about it, and just let it keep being a thing people complained about on the internet, it probably would still exist today, but it would be like 10% of what it is now.
Mm.
The problem is they rallied the forces that still believed in it, and they still have that idea that they can do it a second time.
Yeah. And it's fine if you want to believe in that, like, but understand, like, you obsessing about it and especially attacking other people for not agreeing with your movement and everything, because that's what's happening. There are people that are maybe a part of the movement that are maybe not as toxic as some of these other people, like this guy, but they're literally attacking other people and literally shitting and hating on something that isn't what they want. And they're not understanding this is actually damaging and hurting their movement. And whatever, like, that's their own choice. Like, I'm not sitting here like a part of a movement. And honestly, I could have easily not addressed any of this today in the video, but I made a point to like, look, this guy's been talking shit for months. I've never heard of him till today, but looking back, like, that's what he's been doing. And then there's been other weird shit he's been doing. But this is too far. This is beyond you sitting on camera or tweeting. This is now you going into the same room as the guy and making not threats, but basically saying that you were there to stare him down, make him uncomfortable, and you potentially could have done something to get kicked out. That is just too much. Like, if you would have said that, if you would have said back in the Arrowverse era, if you would have said online after you came back from a shoot, right, and you were there filming something for the Flash, if you would have said, I went to a Flash shootout tonight, and Grant Gustin was out there, and I was there staring him down, and I was wanting to get kicked off the lot. I was wanting to get kicked out by security. That would have made you look really ridiculous and stalkerish as fuck.
Sure. Yeah.
Like that, you don't do that. Like, he wasted his money and time. I don't understand what he gained from it besides he could stream for 2 hours talking about it.
Yeah, that's 100% what he got out of this. He got his 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Before today, no one outside of a couple hundred people that follow him, like, knew who he was. No one.
Yeah.
Like I said, he has 1,100 Twitter followers. I bet you out of those, 60 to 100 actually read what he says. The rest just followed him because of one random tweet he made someday, and they haven't really paid attention since. Same with YouTube. It's got 3,000 followers. Outside of those 3,000 followers, or out of those 3,000 followers, again, 30 to 50 maybe check every video he's got. The rest saw like one video here that they're like, oh, I liked something he said there, and that's why they followed him. You know how many people I follow on my list that I saw like one video? I'm like, oh, that was really interesting. I'll check out more of what they have. And I've never watched another video of theirs again.
Probably a fair bet.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't realize that 3,000 followers in this day and age does not make you known. I have 9,000 here, 14,000 on Twitter, and I'm not known by like 97% of fandoms, you know?
Mm-hmm.
The 3% that do know me only know me because of my set photos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not a celebrity. Like, this guy thinks he's made it because he got front row at a thing and stared at James Gunn. And so I'll say this. We'll try getting close to ending this discussion.
Mm-hmm.
He has issues. No one here that has seen it can debate that. Everybody that has seen one of his videos can tell you 100% the guy has issues. Now, will those issues get him in trouble down the road in a legal sense eventually? Maybe. Maybe this is the cap of his attempt to deal with this.
Mm-hmm.
If he goes any further than he already did, he will probably be stepping into an illegal boundary. He will be doing something that will get him in legal trouble, whether that is a arrest and jail time, or an arrest and a restraining order, or just a lawsuit. Anywhere along those sets of lines, he is this close to that. And
he was getting close at this time, allegedly, because he wanted to do something. Okay, well, you had the every opportunity and you didn't take it, but something tells me next time he may take it. He may try.
It'll depend on a lot of things. It'll first of all depend on how much balls he actually has, because like I said, it is actually hard to do that in person to a celebrity. It is hard to do that in person to a random person. Like, if I met someone online that we have a heated argument with, and then I meet them in person, I'm probably just gonna like give them a watered down version of how much I disagree with them, because it's really hard to do that in person.
Yeah,
doing it to a celebrity is like 10 times harder, because you know the status pressure they can put on you. I don't know if this guy does anything about it. If he does, I assure you, James Gunn and his security team know the law well enough to deal with it. Like, James Gunn is not like new to having people stalking him either online or in person.
Yeah, true.
This
is just another guy. Yeah,
he's now the president of, or whatever, co-president or whatever it is of DC. This guy gets hundreds of pieces of hate mail a day. Somebody in his office has to deal with all of those before they even get to him, if they ever get to him. He has a legal team at his disposal like that. And they probably deal with a lot of things behind the scenes that we'll never hear about, where they're like, I think this person's a reasonable threat, even though they've never said anything online. Let's go deal with this. This guy is a public nuisance. There is definitely someone on their legal team who has at least heard about him now. Before today, they may have never known him, but right now they're kind of like, all right, keep an eye on this guy.
It's possible now because how much this is blown up, because like if this would have been just another stream that he did and didn't get any attention, then no one would even know what happened, right? But the fact that there was people talking about it, and then now there's been a huge blow up about this whole thing. I mean, yeah, it's now possibly got to somebody that now was in the know, but before they had no clue who this guy was. And now they do. And as I said in my video, if James Gunn even knows who you are, it's for the wrong reasons. It's not for anything that you're actually doing productive or anything you're doing online. It's because you're acting like this.
And it's not even like, I mean, he probably thinks being known for the wrong reasons is a good thing. But here's the thing. Zack Snyder probably is learning about him too. And Zack Snyder's probably there now going, this guy's a fucking dumbass. Like, don't drag me into this. Zack Snyder doesn't want to be sitting at dinner with James and be like, oh, that guy? No, I've heard about it. Like, he doesn't want that any more than James does.
No.
You know?
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But, Yeah, that was the craziest thing I've heard out of Comic-Con this year.
Mm,
But yeah, there was obviously other things that happened at Comic-Con. We had like you said earlier, the George Lucas panel.
yep.
Um, Unfortunately, it doesn't sound like George Lucas is coming back to take control of Star Wars.
Damn
But
it. I was kind of hoping.
but what did you say that he talked about specifically?
There's like a museum or something. There's some sort of like artwork that he's showcasing off. It's like Guillermo del Toro was a
Okay,
part of
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Some sort of artist was there, and they announced a couple of things. And I think it was George's first actual Comic Con, like San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, it was his first,
Mm-hmm.
which is insane.
To think that, yeah, for sure. Like you would have
Like
thought maybe like
he
in the
is one of the
2000s.
founding reasons that Comic-Con exists.
Yeah. And
Like if you think of the reasons Comic-Con exists, it would be like Marvel, DC, Star Wars. Like
it's definitely up there in like the top conversations for sure.
yeah.
He always sent other people. Like it was always other
Yeah, of
creators
course.
and stuff. Like they could have easily brought George back when they were bringing back the Clone Wars Star Wars show a couple years ago for the panel, because obviously he's not a part of Disney, but he was a part of the creation of that show initially. Wasn't there at all back when it wasn't the same as it was today. Like back when the prequel trilogy, he never showed up for anything like that. I don't think they were really promoting movies then, but they could have done something. And he never was there for anything of that nature. And I think maybe it's because of like the actual what is it called? Star Wars Celebration. Maybe that was kind of the thing of why he never really did anything Comic-Con wise, because they already had a dedicated thing they did. But yeah, it was cool to see him. You can tell he's getting up there in age, unfortunately, but
Yeah.
he still there, still sharp, and it was really cool to see him there. And it's interesting because there's a lot of studios that kind of skipped, or at least weren't having major presence at Comic-Con this year for Hall H, which normally is like the thing to do. So I don't know. Maybe next year will be different. Because I'm surprised that Marvel actually didn't go like at all. Like they were there, but there was no like Hall H panel.
Yeah.
Because I would have thought, Kevin Feige could have easily brought out some people from Avengers Doomsday, but no, like they could have done something. But I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now the big studios, your DC and your Marvels, are kind of counting their pennies. They're kind of like, we need to think of the most financially responsible way to use our marketing. And Comic-Con's an expensive place.
Yeah.
Even if you're invited, it still costs you money to produce your like design that you're going to go there with, your team that you're going to go there with, ship them out there. Like there's a lot of money to be spent on Comic-Con, even if you're invited for free. Like, and they have to look at that and be like, do we spend a couple $1 million promoting our 4 or 5 projects, or take that couple million and spread it out throughout the year closer to the events that it has a higher impact? Because if you talk about something today at Comic-Con and it's not coming out for 10 months, does it do you any good?
Yeah, it's actually a fair point, because a lot of the times when Kevin Feige's went out there for Hall H panels, especially the last couple of times he has, it's promoting like the next 4, 5, 6 years, like in terms of like just a bunch of films. Like remember when they like announced Fantastic Four at one point? It's like New Day, which I think it did hit, and it's like, okay, but that was like a year away, and it's like, but did it really actually help the film and its box office this weekend? I don't know. And same thing with like Doomsday. Like, yeah, they announced Robert Downey Jr. That makes sense to announce it there in the Russo brothers, but they didn't announce the cast there. They did their own promotion with chairs that cost way less money to just get a bunch of chairs and have Robert, who's already there out in London filming, to walk out and just sit in his chair. Boom. You didn't have to, spend all this time getting that cast to come out, because it would have been a big moment, right? But would it have financially made sense to fly all these different actors? Because imagine they flew out all the actors who were in the chairs for Comic-Con when they announced Robert as Doom. I don't think it would have really helped. I think it would have actually cost a lot of money they didn't have to actually spend. So, I don't know. Apparently he's going live, by the way. He's finally going live.
Oh, boy.
Ooh. But yeah, so I think you're right. I think at this point, I think the studios are looking at what makes sense cost wise. I think Coyote versus Acme, that made sense to promote at Comic-Con because the studio that's actually acquired it is not a big studio. Like
That's
Warner
far
Brothers.
different than if you're Marvel or
Yeah.
like you need to generate your grassroots promotion of it
Mm-hmm.
because it's a thing everyone assumed was dead, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when you're a smaller studio, it makes sense to take advantage of Comic-Con because that's probably the most individual eyeballs you're going to get on it at one time.
Mm-hmm.
For Marvel or DC, might not be your case. It might be bigger for you to just do an individual event for something, you know, or a panel closer to the event. Now, if Marvel or DC had a project coming out in December or
Mm-hmm.
earlier,
Yeah.
sure, go to Comic-Con and promote it.
Yeah.
But if your project says 2026 on it, I don't know if Comic-Con is really the place for you to go if you're a major studio anymore. You know?
Yeah, especially if it's so far out because like their next films were not till summer of next year. By the time they would have done Comic-Con this weekend, which is Fantastic Four's release, because last year they had Deadpool and Wolverine, but they did a big push for that at Comic-Con, but they didn't do a Fantastic Four. But then again, they don't have anything like they have stuff shooting, like Doomsday's shooting, Spider-Man's going to start shooting next month, I think, but they don't have anything like that's coming up for the rest of the year, movie-wise. So it makes a lot of sense why Kevin wanted to save the money and not do it.
So apparently Rebecca Romijn, I guess at Comic-Con, said she isn't sure she's done filming for Avengers Doomsday because they haven't finished writing the script.
Yeah, I did see that. I don't know like if that's actually true, if she's just playing coy, because there was those reports that they started shooting without a script or a finished script. Feige stated that wasn't true, and I maybe Rebecca's just messing around, but I don't know. It's possible.
Or she also could just be uninformed. You know, the thing with these large projects like this that I don't think many people realize is you might not get the whole script.
Mm-hmm.
They'll only give you your part of the script, so you can't leak everything, you know?
Yeah.
Like, what if, say you're Rebecca Romijn Stamos, you have a script that's this thick, and you leave it in your dresser. You don't need the whole script. You know the lines you're doing for that scene that you're going out to do right now. Someone breaks into your locker and takes the script. They now have the master script. They don't need to give you everything in the script. They only need to give you the part you're going to do.
Mm.
And a lot of times that's all the actors get at the beginning. Now, day of shoot, yeah, you get everything that's coming out that day. I see the lines you have. I see the lines Joe Blow has. I have all those lines because they're in the pages for those days.
Mm.
But I don't have day after, 2 days after, 3 days after in there. I have 1 day's worth of stuff. So if someone breaks into my locker and steals it, they get 1 day of the script.
Yeah.
You know? So she might be wrong. She might be right. They may have just not given her everything. And she might have been right at some point. Like she may have filmed her scene, you know, a couple months ago or whatever. And at that time it wasn't finished. Because they're still always adapting things and changing things and, you know, revising things. Say tomorrow they're like, oh my God, we got insert mega name said they're willing to agree to be in the movie. And now they're like, we need to write a role for insert mega name who's agreed to be in the movie. And they put in a new scene, you know? These things can happen.
Mm. And I think you're right too, because like I know there's been a lot of stories where actors, when they're being interviewed for like Infinity War and Endgame back in the day, like a lot of them said that they read parts of the script, like they weren't allowed to read the full thing, or if they were, it was like a huge amount of like, you know, security they had to go through to read the full thing. And they were also giving fake scripts and fake endings and like just different stuff. So Rebecca may have just read her stuff only and wasn't given anything else, because who knows, whatever scene she was in, there's particular characters or particular things they didn't want her to know outside of her stuff, just in case there's a leak.
Yeah.
It's possible. Like they could have easily just
25 years ago, this wasn't really a thought to studios. Nowadays, with the internet, yeah, they don't take, like Heroes asked specifically like about the Arrowverse one. Now, I was told this by someone that works on one of the sets. They're not an actor. They are someone, further down the chain of command. I don't know where they heard it from. I don't know how reliable it is, but they were told at some point that when Crisis on Infinite Earths happened, the only people that had a full script outside of the writers was Steven, Melissa, and Grant. They were the only ones. And I don't know why only them. I don't know why there wasn't, a Legends cast member or whatever that didn't also get a master
like Katie
list.
Lotz, something, yeah.
But allegedly, they were the only 3 that got one from the beginning. Now, were they right? I'll never know. But I do also know a couple of people I talked to, when I asked them a question about something I had already seen, and they kind of just were like, I don't know, that's got nothing to do with me. Like their answer was basically like, I have no idea because I really haven't looked into it. And maybe they haven't looked into it because they don't have access to that material. I think if you're even a casual, semi-interested fan of it, even you're probably reading everything, even the stuff you're not in. So at least, a few of the people on the cast would have read the whole script if they had the whole script. And I know I had a copy. A friend of mine and myself and one other friend that was with us were walking back from set one night. We actually were blocks away from the set. And they found a script someone had dropped on the ground. It was only for that day's shoot. And it gave like lines for, I can't remember if it was the day before or the day after. It was that night's script and then lines for whoever they were working with, because it wasn't the actor. It was like maybe a hair makeup person or something like that. And, basically had the next day's lines for that character. So that is all they had on the day of the shoot. Now, did the person have a master script given to them at the start? Probably not, because if so, why do you need this individual script day after day?
Yeah, it's true, because especially if you're with how they do their shoots, especially during the Arrowverse time, like they shot stuff out of order. So it would make sense that if they did get a full script, it's probably late into the process, but they probably just got day of stuff, or the day after, the day before stuff, and just learn those lines and figured out, okay, where, and they probably ask, okay, where in the episode does this take place? Like timeline, like how do I need to feel about it? Like how do I portray this? And then they go, and then okay, that's it. And then they figured out, because I think even Grant said he hasn't watched a lot of the last season stuff, because he's like, I lived it a certain way, I did my stuff, like he probably knew most of what was happening because he was the lead, but I bet a lot of those actors probably just like knew day of what they're doing, and that's it, and they forgot it and moved on. Like they just don't remember how it's all piecing together. They're just being told, here's how to act this scene out, this is how we want you to play it, go.
Yeah, of course, because like I know from remembering looking at the script, it tells you the lines of character A, character B, character C, character A, etc. And it says what the scene number is. So you do have an idea in the episode where it is and how you probably should feel by that point. Because like, let's say the start of the episode, you're angry about something.
Yeah.
And then, midway through the episode, your character understands, a thing and suddenly is happy about something. So, later in the episode, you're not supposed to be the angry person anymore. They probably have some idea where the scene is flowing in the episode.
Yeah.
But like I said, their day of stuff had everyone's lines, even in scenes they weren't in. And then the day after only had their lines. It didn't even have anyone that they would be in the scene with, their version of the lines. And I think the only reason they have their lines is so they can start rehearsing them for the next day,
Yeah.
And so, I don't think most people in most productions this day and age, again, 25 years ago, different story. This day and age, most people aren't getting a whole script given to them at the start.
Yeah. I know nowadays when they're pitching films, they do send scripts out to actors they're trying to court to get into the project or try to help sell the project to get an actor involved.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times it's like the actor already signs on the pitch. They don't see a script, or like they don't see really like they see maybe a version of the script and it will change later. So that does happen. Like, so I think in this instance, probably the only person who has a full script is probably Robert Downey Jr. It's probably it. He's probably the only one who has a full script for Doomsday. And that makes sense because he is the one leading it. Essentially, he is the one that's going to be marketing it and promoting it the most. And it makes sense. It's his film, and he's the reason why this all started anyway. So yeah, you might as well give him the full, so he knows what's going on, and everyone else is getting piecemealed, which is fine because I bet a lot of them probably don't even want to know that. Like they might want to know it as a fan, but in order for them to get their job done, because the way this probably shooting is probably ridiculous, how many actors and the timing and scheduling, you only need to know the bare minimum of your lines, and that's it. You don't need to, like, you learning everything else is not going to help you on the day we need you to get this done and go, because we got other people and we have all this stuff happening at once. So that's probably what it is. The shooting has changed. I think you're right. Like full scripts 20, 25 years ago, no issue. Nowadays, it's not the case. They have to.
You know the other thing? You know the other thing? And I know you probably know this a little bit personally because you have done your own filming.
Mm-hmm.
It is actually a lot of effort to memorize like 28 lines of things you gotta say that day.
Yeah.
You were sitting there in your downtime being like, okay, scene 36 is coming up. That's the one where I've got to talk to so-and-so and say these 3 things.
Mm-hmm.
And you try and get into a rhythm of how you're supposed to do it. Then after that scene is done, you have 2 hours till your next scene, but you also in that 2 hours have to think of what the next 5 lines of dialogue you've got to say is, right?
Yeah.
Like you're having a break, but you're also probably still working in your head on what's coming up next.
Yeah, so, that's fair. Yeah, because there would be times where we'd have long scenes we have to shoot, and it would take time to really lay down how we're going to progress it. Because a lot of times when we were shooting those movies, when we were shooting the scenes the day of, we were figuring out how we were going to all figure it out the day of. Like we may have ideas for camera angles and camera shots, but we weren't really getting in the groove of actually shooting it and getting the dialogue back and forth really syncing up until we're actually shooting it, because we didn't have the time to rehearse like bigger projects do. So yeah, it was definitely a lot, and we definitely shot out of freaking, out of sequence. So it is what it is. But yeah, like it really boils down to just getting in that headspace and just line. Because for these shows, they had to learn a lot more dialogue in terms of just like spouting off full paragraphs. Like that's ridiculous, especially with the Flash, like the whole science stuff. Like I felt bad for, some of those actors, especially with all like the lines in Star Labs. It's ridiculous. Doctor
shows are always the ones that I'm just like, they've got to know the name of all these medical procedures, these drugs, these pieces of equipment. They have to be able to remember all these things, and they're not just named like the twisty thing. They're it's called the like speedometer matrix bulletizer. Like it's got some name that's like 3 pieces, and you got to remember how to say that. Medical shows are always the one where I'm like, man, you spent all day remembering this. You had to have.
It's ridiculous how much you have to, how much like they have to memorize. My wife loves Grey's Anatomy, and that show has just like a lot. I hear just dialogue. I'm like, I could never do that. Never, no.
But you obviously also referenced earlier about Coyote versus Acme, and it's funny because we did just talk a little bit earlier about this. That's a year out.
Yeah,
and they're promoting at Comic-Con right now. But also, as we also pointed out, it's not a big mainstream thing. It's also a project that people believed was dead.
Yes,
kind of makes a little sense to have it there.
It does, especially with I forget what the studio's called, but they're definitely not like Warner Brothers or Marvel or Disney, so they don't have the power to really, like, they probably have some marketing budget, but definitely not on the level of like these other movies. So it makes sense to really make it known, because there are probably people who have no idea this film exists or thought
I didn't until this weekend.
Yeah, so literally they have to use this as marketing, and it got a lot of attention because they also were making a point, as I was saying earlier. I think we were either not live yet, but they were referring to Warner Brothers Discovery as Acme for legal reasons. So Acme was the villain, obviously, because they are the villains of the movie. But like that was the whole gist. Like Acme didn't want you guys to see this movie. Acme. It's like, okay. And so it was a good marketing push. And I think that's going to be the rest of the marketing until the film comes out. That Acme didn't want you to see this. And I think that's going to be the main point, is that Acme wanted to shut this film down.
I didn't really think of it until now, but the timing of them taking advantage of that is brilliant when you think of the South Park
situation
this week.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like going after the company that owns your product.
Mm-hmm. After a buyout,
your product.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Like it is a great timing taking advantage of that, because everyone's kind of on that South Park high still, and you're kind of stepping into that limelight a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their intention going forward. They probably didn't know that was going to fall in their lap like that, but good for them.
I think it's good. I think it's just a good way and a fun way to kind of really push the narrative that Acme is this huge overarching villain of the film, and also the real thing in real life, and how they're the villains of it all, and And they had actually people pretending to be Acme kicking them off stage and then showing the trailer. So I forget the actor. I don't know if he's in the movie or not, but I recognize him from other stuff. He came on stage and was wearing like an Acme shirt, and he was acting like he's a lawyer from Acme or whatever, kicking the people off stage. And then he like said something, and then the lights went out, and then boom, the trailer. So I think it's pretty smart to like do that, because it gets everyone in that audience talking. And then now people are online, are talking about this whole thing. Obviously it's a year out, so there's plenty more they can do, but they're not going to have a huge marketing push. So hopefully the film does well. I mean, I heard you reacting to it. You had it. It seemed like you were enjoying it. A lot of people
it actually looked fun. It looked fun, and I was watching it on a let's call it unofficial video of it. So the audio was a little soft. The angle was not perfect. I'll watch the official one when it comes out and see for sure. But like it looks good.
Yeah, it's definitely slapstick like Acme and that old style of Warner Brothers. Like that's what it felt like to me. And so it's funny how they do all this stuff and they just don't release the film. Same thing with like Batgirl. Batgirl's officially dead though. That's never that. Hopefully that'll leak one day. Hopefully.
I mean, at this point, I mean, the fact that it hasn't leaked yet kind of makes me think there is no copy of it out there. But I thought of a get around on that one. I'm not saying they should do it, because I think they would get in legal trouble. But if the writer, director, and cast are devoted enough to wanting this project out there, they should do a modified version on like a YouTube channel. Like just even if it's like animated with their lines, just it would kill Warner Brothers that even a watered down version of it got out.
Yeah.
And all they'd have to do is change a couple names.
Pretty much. Yeah. It was just a weird era of Warner Brothers, the whole buyout and everything switching over. But I don't know. Like, I know we're past that point now, but it's just kind of funny how there's still that reminder of it, because this film was never supposed to release, and now it's coming out because they actually sold it off. And now they have to, and I don't think it's actually going to make enough money for them to regret it, but I think it's going to hopefully make a statement that you probably should not have canned this, because it did have there was an audience, or potentially there was an audience there that could have enjoyed it. Because as we know now, there's a longevity of it, right? Streaming is like a thing as well that helps with longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of a case of the attention it got for getting canceled has given it that boost. Because I think if this had just come out and was allowed to play out, like they never canceled it, they just allowed it to come out on its own accord, I wouldn't have cared. I would have never thought 1 second about this project. But now I have watched a trailer for it. I am talking about it.
Yeah.
And there's like a semi-mid chance in a year I could go see it. They've kind of given this project the boost it needed. So I don't know, when we talked earlier, you had not, either you had not or you didn't bring it up, seen any of the Tron Ares stuff that came out?
I didn't see anything that came from the panel. I actually only saw the official trailer for the
Okay.
first time when I saw Fantastic Four on Thursday.
How was Fantastic Four, by the way?
Enjoyed it. Had a good time. Yeah. I definitely recommend it for sure. Yeah, so I've never seen the Tron films, never seen them. So seeing this, I'm like, okay. And I thought it was interesting, at least in this version of the trailer that I saw, there was no Jared Leto. Like no shot of him whatsoever.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah, none. Like I know he's Ares or whatever, that character. They didn't show him once. No. No.
That's kind of funny. Like, obviously, it filmed in Vancouver, so that's the only reason I'm keeping up to date with it, because I too have never, outside of the original back in the 80s, I've never watched any Tron movies.
Yeah.
Just, it didn't, the first one way back then I thought was kind of neat because of the, the bikes and the cool like red streams that came off them, but I never paid attention to it ever again. And all the other projects that have come out since then didn't. This one I've been at least interested in because it filmed here and I've kept up to date with it. And it's funny, until you said that right now that I think about it, yeah, I don't remember seeing Jared Leto in it. Kind of weird.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when we get closer to the release date, which is kind of getting closer, I think it's October, we will get some Jared Leto stuff. They're going to push hard on him at some point because he is probably the only notable name in that movie that's got notable screen time. Like, I know Jeff Bridges is in it too, sure, but he doesn't have a lot of screen time. He literally came in and filmed 2 days.
Oh, okay.
So, all the other cast in that are people that someone might know from another project. Well, I mean, Gillian Anderson's also in it, but again, I don't think she was here very long. She definitely didn't do any exterior shooting.
Yeah, I heard her voice in the trailer. I don't think I saw her.
Yeah. So, like, when you think of all the other people, like, the people I physically saw on set was Jared, Greta Lee, Jodie Turner-Smith, Hassan Minaj, Sarah Desjardins, Arturo Castro? I think that's his name. I think those are the only 6 I saw. So those would be the people I would expect to have screen time in any trailer. But yeah, like, barely ever seen any Jared Leto stuff yet.
And I wonder if I wonder why they're choosing that, like not showing him a lot, since he is the Ares character, as from my understanding.
Well, he's also the person that they did the first promo photo of. They only did a promo photo of him in the Tron suit.
Yeah.
Like, you've already shown him. You've shown him that we know what he's going to look like. I mean, I know a little bit different. I have a spoiler set photo video that'll come out with some different stuff. But we do know that he's in that suit at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Am I watching the Avatar Fire and Ash in theaters? No. I've never watched any Avatar movies.
I haven't either. And I saw the trailer for Fire and Ash for Fantastic Four. So, and I just don't care. I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it just looks like, okay, a bunch of CGI characters and there's another tribe. I don't care. Like, I just don't care. Like, I have no idea what's happening. I just don't give a shit. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way. Like, if you don't care, then it doesn't matter if your job is to talk about movies. I mean, do you want someone going and watching a movie that they already don't care about just so you can hear their opinion on it? I mean,
yeah,
I don't care about Fantastic Four. When I was younger, went and saw the first one, the Jessica Alba, Chris Evans, all of them one. I did not like it. I did not think it was good. I was kind of like, back then, that was one of the worst superhero things I'd watched.
Mm-hmm.
When the second one came out, I begrudgingly eventually watched it on TV, and again, wasn't impressed. I don't even think I finished the movie.
Mm.
So there's that sour taste in the back of my head of all Fantastic Fours, even though I know it's been redone 2 or 3 times since then.
Yeah.
It is kind of similar to when Suicide Squad ruined the Suicide Squad for people. Remember how many people were like, I'm not going to go watch this. Suicide Squad was so terrible. It's the same thing. I have that mental note of Fantastic Four is terrible, even though the reviews for it are glowing.
Yes. Mm.
I can't get over that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I would say still give it a shot, but obviously if you don't want to go see it in theaters, it's completely fine. Understandable.
Yeah.
I had a good time with it. It definitely is more serious at times. There are some levity moments, but I think overall people are going to respond better to this. But then again, it really just comes down to if you don't like the Fantastic Four for whatever reason, then I don't know if you're going to find enjoyment from the film. But if you give it a chance, and that's up to you. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to. It's like you do what you want. It's like if you have that sour taste, I get it, because people have nostalgia for some of those films. I don't. Like, they were not good. The Fan Four Stick 2015 was horrible. It was a good body horror film. It was not a good superhero movie. It just wasn't good. And yeah, so the stigma was there, and it is what it is. So Marvel had a big hill to push up with this film, and maybe people will discover it more over time.
They promoted the hell out of this film.
Yeah. Same thing with Superman.
Like, aggressively promoted it. So, okay, for a second, I'll say this to chat too. Chat, I am going to potentially talk spoilers for about 10 seconds, maybe 15 at the most. Chainsaw. Everyone, you've been given your warning. So Chainsaw. Are there any parts in the film or post-credit scenes that someone would need to see for future projects?
Yes.
Post-credit scene or in the film itself?
Post-credit.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's already online, so.
Oh, of course it is.
It was online before it even opened here, domestic.
Oh, okay. All right, we're done with the spoilers, everybody. Yeah, so I have no reason to actually go see it.
Yeah, I mean, you can just find it online. Yeah.
That's funny.
Which is completely fine. I mean, because honestly, I was expecting something more with it.
Okay.
Because it's very
that's
simple.
How I felt.
So, yeah.
Oh, your friend is explicitly talking about you right now.
Oh, that's
I
fine.
just saw your video on the screen.
That's fine.
That's how I felt about the Superman post credits. They're fun, but they didn't lead to anything.
And James made a point to say that they weren't going to. Like,
and
he didn't.
I am openly disappointed about that. I have come to expect a post scene to have some value for something going forward. Marvel may have ruined us for that, but I expect it. And it's one of the few things I think Superman didn't land.
The only thing, even though they could have set it up a little bit better, was the Supergirl ending. And that's
don't even get me started on the Supergirl ending.
Well, yeah, but I think that's what he was doing, even though it's not so blatantly obvious, because it's not like they're saying, "Oh, okay, wait, so you see her film next year in the film." It's coming, and of course they put out a promotional poster sometime after. But that's the only thing he really did, besides setting up the Justice Gang. And they're going to be in Peacemaker, and there's going to be.
But those are active parts of the Superman story, so it's a little different than having an add-on at the end. I do agree. I think the Supergirl thing at the end is kind of equivalent to a post-credit scene, even though it's not a post-credit scene.
Yeah, essentially, because it feels like it was not. I wouldn't say it's tacked on, because it is the final scene of the film. It's just a bonus part of it before you get to the actual ending. But yeah, I mean, they could have easily found maybe another way to end the film with that scene without her in it, and then
100%, yeah,
she shows up, and maybe there's some sort of dialogue about Lobo, because Jason Momoa is Lobo, and then something about that. But I'm pretty sure in Supergirl they'll have something like that. they'll have a post, I think, for sure. I just think this first one, James didn't want to do it. Understandable, because you're getting Peacemaker shortly after anyways, and you're getting Lanterns. So there's stuff to look forward to. It's just like, yeah, I get it. There was no actual like proper setup. And I think the reason why too is also James is not doing a direct sequel to Superman like right away. So it would have been potentially that. There was even rumors that we were going to get Batman cast in the post credit. I'm like, no, guys, no.
You know, what would be funny is if like he announced that he's doing a James Gunn Justice League,
which I honestly, and I won't be surprised for a second if he does.
No, neither will I. But I think it would have been funny right out of the gate, like before anyone's even heard the other characters have been cast yet.
The first project.
Yeah, like Superman post credit scene is just you see the back of the other three and Superman maybe talking to them.
Yeah, like it's like Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and you're like, the fuck is going on here?
Oh God, James, call me if you need ideas.
He'll just take what Peacemaker season 1 did. He'll just do that again.
I am excited for Peacemaker season 2. I'm mad that it didn't film here though. Yeah, I can't wait for that show. I do recommend you watch it. It is at some times a little crude and a little silly, but it is so fun and it's cleverly done. I know it's another show you aren't a fan of for different reasons is The Boys.
Of course.
It has some similar aspects in the comedy style. You know,
I'm not surprised.
They don't veer too far off of each other. So it is a fun show. And it's funny because like I think you've probably heard at least from other people. I'm not giving you any spoilers as far as points in the show, but maybe a personality thing. And you've probably heard from like around things like a lot of people went into it not wanting to watch Peacemaker because they're like, oh, that character sucked in the Suicide Squad, and then they left Peacemaker being like, oh, I really like him now. Like, they do a lot of work, and it's not like 4 minutes into the first episode they're like he's a good person now. It takes work getting there, and you will learn to appreciate that character. But the other characters in that show are so fun. You have to. In fact, it's your homework now. I've given you homework.
Give me homework. Give me.
Yeah,
I'll take some homework.
You need to watch it. And I expect a full review by the next council.
Oh, in 3 days.
Yeah. I mean, there's only, like 8 episodes?
That's funny.
Surely Shelby has 8 hours worth of stuff she can do on her own.
I mean, she's been reading all day today, so yeah. And because it's funny, we went to the bookstore yesterday, and I found a book for her that she didn't know even came out. So she was all excited. So
you did just one good deed for the year?
Yep, yeah, exactly. For the year, and that's it. No more.
How are my Funko Pops doing? They're actually scattered about. They have disbanded. They're all over the room now. I honestly don't know. But yeah, let me just see if your friend is still yapping. Yeah, your face is still up on screen. I'm going to vote on his poll. His poll, did you smash the like button? No, I did not. 35%.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Is that his what is that? Is that the people who voted or something for his poll or what?
35% have not smashed the like button, and 65% did out of 67 voters.
Damn.
Oh my God. What is he is he holding a book in his hand?
Probably.
He's doing a sermon? Oh no, I think it's maybe a tablet. I don't know what it is, but it's weird. I mean, I expected it to be weird, but I'm sure he's going to have some opinions anyways. Anything we haven't covered here today? Have you seen Happy Gilmore too?
I have not seen it. No,
Okay. You've
I
seen the
heard.
original?
Yes,
Okay.
I've heard mixed things. It's funny. I'm hearing
I
people
think
that
that's a fair. I think that's a fair answer.
yeah, I hear there's people that love it and people that are despising and hating it. It's like it's
I think
interesting that there's a
despising
middle.
it is a little strong.
Yeah. Well, I've seen a lot of people that are like hating it so much. Like that, like there's people that said they couldn't finish it. Blah blah. It's like I think it really boils down to Adam Sandler today, humor wise, because he is very similar in his humor that he was back then, but I think he has changed a little bit. And a lot of his Netflix projects don't like they perform really well in terms of like people watching them, but critically they're basically bashed and panned.
Mm.
So I think it's probably a mix of that, but I don't know. I mean, I thought about watching it. I may end up watching it at some point, but I'm not like going out of my way to go watch it. But like I said, I'm hearing like very mixed things from people. It's kind of strange. You
I
just be
think
like,
mixed. I think mixed things is the perfect way to describe it. I fucking love the original. Like it is one of my top 10 films, and not just because I'm in the background in it. It is a film I thought did a brilliant job at its time of making you care about the characters, hate the villain. Uh, it, I can't stand golf, but I watched a golf movie. Like
yeah,
it did a great job back then. This one, without giving away things to you, I mean, it's okay. That's
okay,
how I would put it. It's okay. If I gave the original a 10, this is like a 6. It's not unwatchable,
okay,
but it is a visible step down. And I think
mm,
most people that are reasonable about grading it would call it that.
mm,
Um, a lot of callbacks, like an aggressively overabundant amount of callbacks to the
yeah,
original, which I think is a little bit why it hurt the rating for me a little bit.
mm,
There was so much of the movie was spent trying to get you to be like, oh, they did this thing, you
yeah,
know, and like when you do that 3 or 4 times in a movie, okay, cool, great, thank you. When you do it 27 times in a movie,
yeah,
all
yeah.
I'm doing is watching Happy Gilmore, but he looks older now. Like, I don't think comedy is terribly bad, except there's a couple scenes with some characters that I didn't really vibe with me. They were a little too old school Adam Sandler-y for me.
Yeah,
But I think most of the other comedy was okay.
that's fair.
Yeah.
'Cause I think comedy is the most subjective thing I think there is. Because it really boils down to like your sense of humor, and that's really hard to like
Oh yeah.
balance out for like obviously there's a lot of stuff that people kind of can agree upon that's funny. It's just are you executing it the right way for them to enjoy it, to find it funny, you know?
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think it's always a hard line to follow, but I mean, it's interesting that he actually did it, right? Because a lot of the films he's done for Netflix are original, like original stories that he was trying to do. And so him doing a legacy sequel to something that has a huge nostalgia for a lot of people, it is a risk. It's a giant risk, but
It was.
yeah, like he's willing to do it. Like getting
Because
around
I'll
the
be
plot.
honest, when I first heard it was coming out, there's part of me that's like, oh wow. And then a little bit of me immediately was like, how's this gonna hold up 20 odd years later?
Yeah. Mm,
And I don't think it does hold up. Like, if it come out 10 years after the movie, maybe there's a fighting chance. 29 years after the movie, do you know how many characters are dead from the original?
yeah, unfortunately.
There's like 7 or 8.
Mm,
It was wild. And I'll say this. I think they do a decent enough job paying homage to some of those people.
hmm.
Like they find a way to work in almost everybody that's dead. There was one character that has passed away that was in the original that they did not pay homage to, and I just wonder if it's because they didn't know. Because I didn't know until I looked it up.
It's possible, because
But yeah,
yeah, that's interesting that I mean, it's probably good. You know what it reminds me of too in terms of like what they're doing? It reminds me of like Top Gun Maverick situation, like so many years since the original, or even more so, you could also say something like the Creed franchise where Rocky was done and then they brought back Rocky Balboa and then they took more time and then they brought in a new character to kind of continue that franchise. But Top Gun, I think, is a good example. They were so far removed from that first film. And yes, Tom Cruise, Top Gun name, but it doesn't automatically mean it's going to sell tickets. Like people have nostalgia for that. If Top Gun Maverick was bad, then it could have tarnished potentially the first one as well. Like, because like, oh, why'd you even try all these years later? It's like, so it's a risk.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at the end of the day, I think Adam Sandler knew going in, he's probably thinking like, some people are still going to love it because they still 29 years later still find the same things funny. And then he also probably in the back of his head also knows from doing other projects, other people are probably have moved on from that sense of humor.
mm-hmm.
And I think that's where you're going to get that divide, is people wanting the feeling they had 29 years ago, but they don't have that same personality anymore. You know?
Yeah.
Like that's probably partly why I'm on the fence about it, is 29 years ago, maybe I found this more funny, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's okay. It's an okay movie. I would even say it might be something I would watch again in the right circumstances. But
high praise.
Yeah, like if I had paid to see it at a theater, I kind of would feel like it wasn't worth price of admission to movies these days. It's a good thing it was on Netflix. You know.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Like, how I don't think it would have done well box office. Who knows? Like, there's a reason why Adam Sandler isn't doing box office movies anymore. He's just strictly doing Netflix because Netflix gave him a huge amount of money for a deal, and he took it and ran with it, and he doesn't have to worry about a box office return. He just has to worry about the streaming, which is another kind of like stress. But all of his movies, regardless of how they were received critically, are in the top 10 when they release, and they're up there like for a few weeks. So they're getting a lot of attention, a lot of eyeballs on them. So it doesn't really, matter to him that he's not making anything at the box office. He's not worried about that. He has a huge Netflix contract he has to oblige by. And I wonder how many movies he actually has to make in that thing. I don't know.
I'm sure that's also another factor in him doing Happy Gilmore 2 now, is because he already had this contract that he's got to fulfill. And he's like, why don't I just do another Happy Gilmore? There's one movie off the list.
Yeah. He doesn't think about something else new. It's just like he has to just create some sort of sequel to it.
I also think it's one of the few movies from his like golden era that you legitimately could do a sequel to. You can't really do a Billy Madison follow-up. Can't really do a Wedding Singer follow-up. Like, these are movies where I don't know how you would, like, I don't know where you go with a second movie of those, But this one, there was material there, and I think it worked material-wise most of the time. I think the material worked. Some of the jokes didn't hit, and I think a couple of the scenes were a little goofy, but I think, still watchable.
Yeah.
But unless you have got anything else to add today that we have not talked about, we may be wrapping this up.
I don't think of anything else. I don't know. I mean, like I said, Comic-Con, there wasn't really a lot happening this year. So maybe next year. Maybe.
Let me just look in chat real quick and see if anyone said anything in the last while. I know that I'm way behind on chat. Sorry. Am I excited for Avengers Doomsday? I will be when it gets closer to coming out. I'm kind of one of those people that if you come out with a trailer for it right now, I'll be like, oh, cool. And then it'll be out of my mind again until, however many months down the line that it comes out. I'm not going to sit there and think about it day in and day out for months, Might be about the only thing that really came up in the chat. Answered that one. Yeah. Seems to be about it. What is happy? What is this happy thing? You don't know what Happy Gilmore is, heroes? Come on, man. I know you're like all superhero stuff, but at least at some time in your life have heard of it. All right. That looks to be our stream for today.
Yes.
I have filled my contractual obligation to do a stream this decade.
There you go.
And I even brought somebody in who is a hot topic right now at this very moment.
Apparently, yeah.
Oh my God, he still has the screen stopped at the same moment that it was when I first noticed.
Mm.
He's had you up on the screen for 29 minutes. You've been on his screen for 29 minutes consecutive.
I feel honored.
That's more time than you put in here.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy. Congratulations, by the way, on your first obsessive stalker.
Appreciate it.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it.
All right. If you guys are looking for more discussions in the future, Chainsaw Reacts right over there.
Me?
He does a live stream every Wednesday with like 38 people. And
no exaggeration.
It's not really.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks or a week and a half now will be his 100th episode. 100. Any signs of being canceled? Have you heard from the studio yet?
Well, based on what's happening right now, 100% yes.
There's a question if it will get to 100.
I'm canceling tomorrow. Gonna get a call. It's over. It's done.
Sorry, but we heard that Ski Jedi 4200 or whatever his number is said some negative things about you. We can't have you on anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Thanks for coming on, and I will see you in the future, probably in a week and a half.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.